You're listening to the Cyberwire Network, powered by N2K.
Around every entry point and every clever attacker, Vectra sees the attacks others can't. How? Vectra has AI on it. Vectra's AI attack signal intelligence tells security teams where to focus, what matters. It wades through thousands of individual threat events so you don't have to. Attackers infiltrating your network? Vectra has AI on it. Attackers compromising your identities? Vectra has AI on it. Vectra AI, the integrated signal powering your XDR. Visit vectra.ai/showme to learn more. That's vectra.ai/showme to learn more. Authorities arrest over 200 Chinese nationals in Sri Lanka over financial scams. Officials in Finland take down an online drug market. Cisco investigates an alleged data breach. A major apparel provider suffers a data breach. Oracle's latest patch update includes 35 critical issues. Microsoft has patched several high-severity vulnerabilities. The NCSC's new boss calls for global collaboration to fight cybercrime. CISA warns of critical vulnerabilities affecting software from Microsoft, Mozilla, and SolarWinds. Hackers steal data from Verizon's push-to-talk system. On our CertByte segment, Chris Hare is joined by resident Microsoft subject matter expert George Monsalvaci to break down a question from N2K's Microsoft Azure Administrator practice test. And robot vacuums go rogue. It's Wednesday, October 16th, 2024. I'm Dave Bittner, and this is your CyberWire Intel Briefing. Thanks for joining us here today. Great, as always, to have you here with us. Authorities in Sri Lanka have arrested over 200 Chinese nationals involved in large-scale financial scams targeting victims across Asia. The arrests follow 7 raids across the country, with most suspects linked to pig butchering scams, where victims are tricked into investing in fake businesses or stocks. These operations align with reports from the UN and U.S. Institute of Peace, highlighting the rise of sophisticated crime syndicates in Asia, which stole up to $37 billion in 2023. Many of these cartels, originating from online gambling operations banned in China, have expanded into Myanmar, Cambodia, and Laos. The largest raid in Sri Lanka netted 126 Chinese nationals running a money laundering operation from a luxury hotel. The Chinese government has expressed support for Sri Lanka's law enforcement efforts, emphasizing its commitment to combating transnational online fraud that damages both countries' reputations and relationships. Customs officials in Finland, in cooperation with the Swedish police, have shut down the Sipulatai marketplace, a Tor-based platform used for anonymous drug sales since February 2023. The site, operating in Finnish and English, facilitated criminal activities, including narcotics sales, with an estimated turnover of 1.3 million euros. Sipulatai was created after the closure of its predecessor, Sipuli Market, in 2020, which had a turnover exceeding 2 million euros. Authorities have identified the administrator behind both marketplaces and a 2022 chat-based sales platform called Sati, which has also been closed. The investigation has also uncovered identities of sellers, buyers, and those in support roles, such as moderators. Finnish Customs has worked closely with the Swedish police, Europol, and Finnish police units, with the investigation still ongoing. Cisco is investigating claims of a data breach after the threat actor Intel Broker alleged that they, along with 2 others, accessed Cisco's data on October 6th of this year. The hacker posted on a forum offering stolen data, including source code, customer information, credentials, API tokens, and confidential documents. Intel broker shared samples of the data but did not explain how it was obtained. Cisco has confirmed it is aware of the reports and is actively investigating. It remains unclear if this breach is connected to previous attacks involving companies like T-Mobile, AMD, and Apple back in June. Varsity Brands, a major apparel provider for sports teams and schools, disclosed a data breach affecting over 65,000 individuals. Detected in May of this year, the breach involved unusual activity on its systems, prompting Varsity to take systems offline and launch an investigation with external cybersecurity experts. The breach exposed a small subset of company files containing personal information. Affected individuals have been offered 24 months of free credit monitoring and identity theft protection. While ransomware involvement is suspected, no group has claimed responsibility. Oracle's October 2024 Critical Patch Update addresses 198 CVEs with 334 security patches across 28 product families, including 35 critical patches. The Oracle Commerce family received the most patches, followed by Oracle Hyperion with 45 patches. Many vulnerabilities, particularly in Oracle Commerce, can be exploited remotely without authentication. Products like Oracle Financial Services, Oracle SQL Developer, and Oracle Java SE also received significant updates. Oracle advises customers to apply all relevant patches promptly. Full details, including a breakdown of patches by product family and severity, can be found in Oracle's October 2024 advisory. Microsoft has patched several high-severity vulnerabilities in Power Platform, Dataverse, and the Imagine Cup website. These vulnerabilities, rated critical by Microsoft, include a missing authorization flaw in Power Platform that could allow unauthorized access to sensitive information, a flaw in Dataverse which could enable privilege escalation by an authenticated user, and additionally, an improper access control issue in the Imagine Cup website was addressed. All issues have been mitigated server-side and no user action is required. Microsoft confirmed no evidence of exploitation before the fixes. In a move toward transparency, the company now assigns CVE identifiers even to cloud service vulnerabilities that require no user intervention, while allowing users to filter out such flaws in their security update guide. The UK's National Cybersecurity Centre has reported a 50% increase in nationally significant cyber attacks compared to last year, according to its new chief executive, Richard Horne. Speaking at Singapore International Cyber Week, Horne highlighted the growing gap between cyber threats and global defenses, emphasizing the increasing complexity of the threat landscape. He warned that rising dependencies on technology exposes societies to greater cyber risks and called for coordinated global efforts to strengthen cyber resilience. Horne, the first NCSC chief with a technical background, stressed that security must be built into technology from the start. He also urged governments to take a more active role in guiding businesses and public services to defend against and recover from cyber attacks. Horne's comments echo earlier concerns that current regulations are failing to keep up with rapid technological advancements. Just last month, a report from Spotlight on Corruption noted that the UK's National Crime Agency, also tasked with tackling cybercrime, is facing a crisis. The agency is experiencing a brain drain with nearly 20% of its cyber capacity lost annually due to staff departures, largely attributed to a broken pay system. This has led to increased costs as the NCA relies on temporary labor and consultants, consuming over 10% of its budget. The report urges urgent government reforms and investment to restore the agency's effectiveness. CISA has issued an urgent warning about 3 critical vulnerabilities affecting widely used software from Microsoft, Mozilla, and SolarWinds. These vulnerabilities are currently being exploited in the wild, making timely action crucial to prevent potential attacks. The first vulnerability is a race condition in the Microsoft Windows kernel that could allow attackers to escalate privileges on a compromised system. Although it's unclear if this flaw is being used in ransomware campaigns, the risk remains high. The second vulnerability highlighted by CISA impacts Mozilla Firefox and involves a use-after-free vulnerability that could enable arbitrary code execution. And lastly, there's a vulnerability affecting SolarWinds Web Help Desk, which involves hard-coded credentials, allowing unauthorized access to internal systems. CISA advises organizations to apply patches or mitigations by November 5th of this year to safeguard against exploitation, emphasizing the importance of proactive security measures. Hackers have stolen data from Verizon's push-to-talk system, which is marketed to government agencies and first responders, and are now selling the data on a Russian cybercrime forum. 404 Media reports the breach did not affect Verizon's main consumer network, but targeted a third-party provider supporting the PTT system. The stolen data includes call logs, emails, and phone numbers. Verizon confirmed that a small subset of customer data was exposed, but noted that no sensitive information such as social security numbers was leaked. The hackers, including Cyber Phantom and Judish, are part of a cyber criminal group known as the COM, responsible for numerous high-profile breaches. The hackers are selling the stolen data instead of extorting Verizon. Coming up after the break, on our CertByte segment, Chris Hare is joined by our resident Microsoft SME, George Monsalvaci. They break down a question from N2K's Microsoft Azure Administrator practice test. Stay with us. Identity architects and engineers, simplify your identity management with Strata. Securely integrate non-standard apps with any IDP, apply modern MFA, and ensure seamless failover during outages. Strata helps you avoid app refactoring and reduces legacy tech debt, making your identity systems more robust and efficient. Strata does it better and at a better price. Experience stress-free identity management and join industry leaders in transforming their identity architecture with Strata. Visit strata.io/cyberwire, share your identity challenge, and get a free set of AirPods Pro. Revolutionize your identity infrastructure now. Visit strata.io/cyberwire. And our thanks to Strata for being a longtime friend and supporter of this podcast. And now, a word from our sponsor. The Johns Hopkins University Information Security Institute is currently seeking qualified applicants for its innovative Master of Science in Security Informatics degree program. Study alongside world-class interdisciplinary experts and gain unparalleled educational, research, and professional experience in information security and assurance. Interested U.S. citizens should consider the National Science Foundation's CyberCore Scholarship for Service program, which covers tuition, required fees, university-sponsored health insurance, and a $6,000 annual professional development allowance, as well as providing a $37,000 additional annual stipend. Learn more at cs.jhu.edu/MSSI. Our recurring CertByte segment is a bi-weekly feature hosted by Chris Hare, a content developer and project management specialist here at N2K. Chris and her guests share practice questions from our suite of industry-leading content and a study tip to help you achieve the professional certifications you need to fast-track your career growth. Here's Chris.
Hi, everyone. It's Chris. I'm a content developer and project management specialist here at N2K Networks. I'm also your host for this week's edition of CertByte, where I share a practice question from our suite of industry-leading content and a study tip to help you achieve the professional certifications you need to fast-track your career growth. Today's question targets Microsoft's Azure Administrator Skills Measured Exam. Okay, George, did I say that right? Is it Azure?
It could be either one. Who are we to say? But I like to say it Azure.
Azure. Okay, I have our resident Microsoft SME here, George, who's going to help us out today. We're going to turn the tables again, and George will be asking me this week's question, and I'm really nervous because this is not in my wheelhouse.
You'll do fine. You always do.
Thank you, as always, for the vote of confidence. So, George, before you ask me the question, I understand you have a 10-second study bit for this exam. So what do you have for us?
Well, as you know, Chris, Microsoft always updates their exams. And when you're studying for an exam, you may prep for that exam for, a couple of months, 3 or 4 months.
Right.
But my tip would be to look at the Microsoft website for the study guide for this exam. So say, for instance, the AZ-104, look at the Microsoft study guide for the AZ-104 to see if they've added anything to the exam or subtracted something from the exam, because if they added something, you certainly want to study that for the exam, because the difference between failing and passing the test is one question. So make sure you know what's on the exam.
That is an excellent tip. Okay, George, I'm ready for my question. I'm taking a deep breath. Let's go.
Okay, put your seatbelt on. Here we go.
Okay.
Here's the question. You need the ability to gauge Azure backup health, storage usage patterns, and backup restore trends within your production Azure subscription. It is important to use an open data model and leverage data visualization capabilities that can be shared among business owners. So, what feature will meet the reporting requirements for Azure Backup Services? There's only one answer to this, the choices are A, Azure Monitor, B, Application Insights, C, Power BI, and D, Log Analytics.
Ooh, all right. Thank you for this, George. This is a tricky one, highly technical. So what feature will meet the reporting requirements for Azure Backup Services? Okay, can I ask you some questions first?
You can ask me anything. It may help you. It may not, but you can ask me anything.
Okay, so are all of your answer options part of the Azure subscription? In other words, there are no trick answers here?
There are no trick answers. They are part of all the choices here are part of your Azure subscription.
Okay, great. Now, can I also ask, do all of the choices mentioned offer some level of reporting and visualization capabilities? Is that fair to say?
Let's just say somewhat, but one would be the beaconing light when you think of reporting and visualization.
Okay. And last question, backup reporting can also happen from the data or the application layer. Is that right? I don't know if that's going to help me or not, but I wanted to ask.
It depends on what you're backing up. But the key part of this question is what will meet the reporting requirements for Azure Backup Services?
Okay, so I'm just going to take a wild guess and go with B, Application Insights.
Actually, what I was trying to hit on was reporting requirements, and one thing they mentioned in the question was visualization, and that the Power BI service is what Microsoft likes to use in Azure to have dashboards and reports. So Log Analytics, Application Insights, and Azure Monitor could all give you performance data, but Power BI really brings that data to life in dashboards. So what we were looking for is visualization and reporting. So that's why we went with Power BI there.
Okay, got it wrong, but I learned something today. So thank you so much, George. Are there any other Microsoft exam updates coming out soon that you'd like to promote here while I have you?
Well, we're always updating our exams, and hopefully soon we have already put out our fundamental exam for Microsoft's Azure Artificial Intelligence Service, and we're working on one of the advanced exams.
Excellent. That sounds exciting. Thank you so much. And thanks for your time again. And a great question, too.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for joining me for this week's CertByte. If you're actively studying for this certification and have any questions about study tips or even future certification questions you'd like to see, please feel free to email me at certbyte@n2k.com. That's CertByte@n2k.com. If you'd like to learn more about N2K's practice tests, visit our website at n2k.com/certify. For sources and citations for this question, please check out our show notes. Happy certifying.
If there's a question that you would like to see covered, you can email us at certbyte@n2k.com. If you're studying for a certification exam, check out N2K's full exam prep library of certification practice tests, practice labs, and training courses by visiting our website, n2k.com/certify. And now, a word from our sponsor, Maltego. Maltego's all-in-one platform for OSINT and investigations speeds up complex investigations from hours to minutes. Trusted by half of Dow Jones and governments around the world, it helps cyber threat intelligence teams, fraud analysts, and law enforcement agencies integrate the most relevant data and enhance situational awareness to combat crime and mitigate risks. Detect threats early and solve cases quickly. Go to www.maltego.com/get-a-demo to explore how Maltego keeps businesses and the public safe. That's www.maltego.com/get-a-demo. And finally, our automated appliances desk tells us the story of some tech gone awry. Ecovac's D-Bot X2 robotic vacuums were reportedly hacked earlier this year, turning them into tiny, terrorizing menaces in U.S. cities. ABC News in Australia shared stories of these vacuums chasing pets and yelling racist slurs at their owners. Minnesota lawyer Daniel Swenson described his D-Bot blaring static, which quickly turned into a teen-like voice shouting slurs. Other incidents in El Paso and Los Angeles involved similar chaos, including a rogue vacuum harassing a dog. Ecovacs responded, citing a credential stuffing event and blocking the hacker's IP, but assured everyone that no usernames or passwords were stolen. Last year, researchers showed how to bypass the D-Bot's PIN, but Ecovacs promises a security update soon. It's a reminder of the risks of cloud-connected devices, where instead of cleaning your floors, your vacuum might become a foul-mouthed prankster. And that's the Cyberwire. For links to all of today's stories, check out our daily briefing at thecyberwire.com. We'd love to know what you think of this podcast. Your feedback ensures we deliver the insights that keep you a step ahead in the rapidly changing world of cybersecurity. If you like our show, please share a rating and review in your favorite podcast app. Please also fill out the survey in the show notes or send an email to cyberwire@n2k.com. We're privileged that N2K Cyberwire is part of the daily routine of the most influential leaders and operators in the public and private sector, from the Fortune 500 to many of the world's preeminent intelligence and law enforcement agencies. N2K makes it easy for companies to optimize your biggest investment, your people. We make you smarter about your teams while making your team smarter. Learn how at n2k.com. This episode was produced by Liz Stokes. Our mixer is Trey Hester, with original music and sound design by Elliot Peltzman. Our executive producer is Jennifer Iben. Our executive editor is Brandon Karp. Simone Petrella is our president. Peter Kilpie is our publisher. and I'm Dave Bittner. Thanks for listening. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Quick question. Do your end users always, and I mean always without exception, work on company-owned devices and IT-approved apps? I didn't think so. So my next question is, how do you keep your company's data safe when it's sitting on all those unmanaged apps and devices? 1Password has an answer to this question: Extended Access Management. 1Password Extended Access Management helps you secure every sign-in for every app on every device because it solves the problems traditional IAM and MDM can't touch. And it's now available to companies with Okta and Microsoft Entra and in beta for Google Workspace customers. Check it out at 1password.com/cyberwire. That's 1password.com/cyberwire.